Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This video for Wednesday, January 11th, 2012 is sponsored by Realtick. Alright, let's get right into the mix, folks. Markets are flat on the day. This is another consolidation day after a very nice gap up yesterday, and exactly what we saw last week. Last Tuesday, the markets had a solid gap up right here. Then the next 4 or 5 days, we consolidated until yesterday's gap higher. The same thing is occurring today. Now, the interesting thing about this is bullish consolidation ultimately dictates we probably have a little bit more upside in this market, maybe to the 132, 133 level on the SPY, but it also tells us when we look closely at the dollar that the markets are overall strong. Now, why do I say that? Well, as you guys know, when the dollar goes up, generally the markets go down. But if we take a look at the dollar on an intraday basis, the dollar's having a very strong day again, and the markets are on the flat line. So again, you see this resiliency in the markets where even an up dollar right now is not taking the markets down. And that again tells us that once the dollar starts to pull back a little bit off of this move up, then you should have another move up in the markets taking us to that 132 to 133 level. So again, originally I was thinking 50-50 chance of 132 to 133 on the SPY. It might be a little bit higher, maybe 65-70% chance that we hit that in the next week or so on the upside. Now, obviously, there are certain things that could derail it, major news out of Europe or out of Iran or something like that. But for the most part, based on everything that I'm seeing right now, you have to assume that 132 to 133 is a decent likely chance of getting tagged in the next week or two. All right, and again, you can see the stronger dollar there. And even if we go to the charts, I mean, the dollar has trended up since the beginning of the new year, right? Here's your low from the beginning, the first trading day of the new year, and look at the dollar now today on the daily chart. And if we go back to the spiders on the daily chart, you can clearly see the markets have actually gone up. So that shows us the new money flow coming in. Most of it's amateur money flow, which isn't good in the long run. But in the short term, really that's all I care about as our traders are swing traders. All we look to do here at In the Money Stocks, folks, is buy for the next major move in the markets or short for the next major move. So we catch every single move up and down. That way we're able to compound our gains over the course of months and over the course of the year, making essentially 100+% in our swing trade portfolios. All right. And again, if you want to try this out, if you want to see what In the Money Stocks is all about, come take the 7-day free trial. Again, it's a 7-day free trial to the Research Center or to the In the Money Stocks intraday stock chat. And again, just come here, take the 7-day free trial, no obligation to continue if you don't like what you see. Now, again, I called this beautifully here, folks. We had a triangular pattern. This is a great triangle right here. You can see the lower end right there, the upper end right there. If I zoom out, this broke out on the first trading day of the year. Therefore, it was destined to go up to this 129.50 level. I've been calling for that level since the beginning of the year, and essentially that's what we hit yesterday. Now you're in the consolidation mode. Now you're starting to kind of go sideways, and again, eventually we do suspect the market may have one more final move up before some big time correction action going on. All right, now let's go to take a look at a couple other things. First off, the USO is down 28 cents. That's the ETF that tracks oil, just coming down just a tiny bit here. You can see, again, it had a nice reversal back almost to the flat line, now coming down just a little bit. But the real story today is natural gas. UNG is down huge on the day, basically 5 to 6% on natural gas. That's a monster drop. Look at this move on the intraday chart, opening here and just continuing to sell off, getting a little bounce now back to the 20 moving average. But I think the real story is to take a look at the daily chart. This is the UNG, which again maps the chart of the natural gas front based on an ETF, and look at that move down. Now again, there's some issues here with future contracts and so forth that make this a little steeper than it should be on the natural gas itself, but nonetheless, natural gas getting pounded today, the last couple days dropping below the key $3 level and now trading around the 275, 280 level on nat gas. Long term, do I like nat gas? Yes. Short term, no. Again, short term, you have to understand the basics of what's going on. You have a lot of funds having to get out based on issues, based on losing too much money, and that's going to continue to keep pressure on it. You're probably close to putting in a bottom, but I'm not ready to step up myself. Long term, eventually the government will pass rules and incentives to get trucks and businesses on natural gas, since it's just so cheap, and naturally, natural gas being so cheap will get other players to get on it as well. And that will propel the price back up a little bit. But that's the long term, folks. Well, you don't necessarily want to assume that when you're looking at the chart itself currently as a possible entry. You want to make sure you hit the dead lows to get in at the right price. All right. Solar stocks. I talked about solar stocks yesterday. Solar stocks looked ripe for a big run. They are having the run of the year right now. Trina Solar up over $2 and change, basically a 20 to 30% run. HSOL, take a look at this, guys. Trading at $1.69, up 45 cents essentially. That's essentially a 35% move on HSOL. These are Chinese solar stocks. SOL, which I played yesterday, up 50 cents to $2.21. Monster moves as shorts are getting squeezed out of these solar stocks today. Again, we're talking 20, 30, 40% moves on a lot of the solar stocks. Even American solar stock, First Solar, is having a big move, although it is into a gap fill now. And this is probably the short-term resistance right here. All right, see this right here? There's a gap fill. My guess is it's going to stall out right in this vicinity. If by chance it does break through, it actually could go all the way up to about 49 or 50 bucks. But again, I don't anticipate that based on the gap fill right here on the FSLR chart. All right, even SPWR is having a big day, up 70 cents. That's a very nice move. You can see the bottom being put in there and a float sideways to higher and then a big pop today. And again, you name any solar stock right now, they're all doing very, very well across the board. Really some amazing moves. Even WFR, which is another key stock, look at that move, up 72 cents to $4.63. Other alternate energies are having nice days. A1 up 23 cents. And again, many, many alt energy stocks just doing very well off the solar move today. So that's a big sector in play, no doubt about it. All right, if we take a look at some of the large caps today, JP Morgan Chase having another small up move. It's slowly getting toward this 200 moving average, which is the target, in my opinion, of where this thing is ultimately going. Goldman Sachs is having a nice day, up about $1 and change today, just right around the $100 even number. The fact that it's above both moving averages is positive for now. As long as it holds above that, you'd have a positive bias on it, probably heading up towards this pivot high right here. All right, some other key large cap players. Apple continues to be under a little bit of pressure today, although it has rebounded off the lows. The key is to recognize that Apple hit the 52-week high right here a couple days ago. That's a beautiful double top, and you can see just as a normal double top would, it's stalling, consolidating, and pulling back off that level. Now, believe it or not, I think Apple may have one more final surge, maybe to the 435, 440, 450 level. But again, we want to take it very, very slow here, not get overloaded either way. All right, so again, just one step at a time. You want to make sure you understand that the market has a little bit more upside, in my opinion, but not that much. Believe it or not, I'm going to start looking for shorting opportunities in the not-too-distant future. Okay? So that's something very, very important to keep in mind. Now let's take a look at Amazon.com, down 36 cents. What you see first and foremost on this chart is it's still on the low end of the short-term chart, going back about 3-4 months. In addition, it's consolidating above the 20 moving average. That is slightly bullish on the charts right now. So again, Amazon does not look bad here on the charts as long as it stays right around this 20 moving average sloping down. That's bullish consolidation, could be ready for a possible move up. All right, other stocks to watch. Let's take a look at Google. Google had been pounded down to the 50 moving average since the beginning of the year when it topped out around the 670 level. Sure enough, it comes all the way back yesterday to about 617, about a $50 plus drop on the stock, and since then it's bounced nicely back. Now, it could be making an in spirit of bearish pattern. I wouldn't look to short it yet, but if the pattern continues to form over the course of the rest of this week into next week, it may be a great shorting opportunity, so we'll keep an eye on that very, very closely. All right, so that's Google's chart. BIDU, which is a Chinese stock, again, the Shanghai index this week up about 5%. You can see BIDU really having a good week so far, trading up into the 50 moving average. Sina also has had a big, big bounce 2 days in a row now off the lows, and that's now above the 20 moving average, although it's at some resistance here. See this level right here? If you just take this trend line across the pivot top from there to here and to there, today's high, that's the resistance point you're watching right now on Sina, which is right around the 57.50 level. All right, if it somehow is able to break through that in the next couple days, it actually has a decent chance of probably going to about, I'd say 60 bucks or so, which would be the next resistance level. All right. All right, so again, market continuing. We'll just continue to follow this very closely here. I'm trying to scan through any other plays out there. Let's take a look at ExxonMobil. Exxon remains down about $1 today. That stock, again, with oil down slightly today, which with nat gas going down very sharply, we are seeing Exxon under a little bit of pressure. Chevron as well down about $1 on the day, although it is off the lows. It is pulling back. And in all fairness, if you take a look at Chevron right here, take a line, just draw it across, you ran into a double top, triple top area up here. Not surprising to see a little bit of a pullback. All right, taking a look at gold today, GLD. GLD is trading up 68 cents. It got above the 200 yesterday, so not surprising again to see this inching up a little bit. I don't really like the gold chart at all, either short or long, but what I did like a couple days ago was the silver chart, silver bullish consolidation, and then sure enough it played out yesterday to the upside, and that was a great call. Many traders here at In the Money Stocks caught that trade and made good money off the SLV jump. All right, bottom line is, folks, the money is there to be made. I'm giving out plays in the research center for the rest of today inside the chat room. We're going to load the boat. We're going to make some money. And again, the profits are here. It doesn't matter which way the market's going. If as long as you position yourself accordingly, there is money to be made. So we encourage you to come join the Intraday Stock Chats free trial, the research center free trial. Come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com and profit with the pros. Have a great rest of the day. I know I'll be profiting with my members here. And again, we hope you do the same and come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com.